The Sonic Show's Opinion Zone, Act 1.
Hello, this is a Sonic Show thing. I don't know what this thing is yet. It's just a thing for your ears. And maybe your eyes if this is on YouTube. It might not be. It might be on iTunes. Hello if you're listening on an iPod. Are you on a bus? Are you on a train? Are you walking? Hi.
I take those out of your ear if I were you. You could get hit by a bus with the person in the bus listening to us, listening to you.
That'd be like deafception. That'd be bad. That'd be horrible. That'd be vile. Why are we saying that? I'm Jay Eggman, formerly known Disco Ponies. I've got a variety of idiots from the Sonic Show with me today, which I'm so pleased to have. We have the one and only Tanner. Say hello, Tanner.
Why, hello. You all know me, probably. I do like a lot of crap.
That was a great introduction. Amazing. And we also have another Canadian. You may remember him from a million years ago when he used to do an LP and some other stuff. And then, unfortunately, he decided he was going to have a life and then just stopped. It's Fuad. Say hello, Fuad.
Oh, I remember back in the day being on the Sonic Show. Hello, everyone.
Having some time. And then, of course, we have Tanner, so we have to have his arch nemesis. We have Tom.
Hello, gentlemen and ladies.
Yes.
It is I.
So, you can't have one tea without the other.
2 cups of tea.
Exactly. Amazing.
That was great.
It was good. And, of course, we do have another person who always ends up in these sort of things. It's Donnie.
Hi, guys.
Why? Of Sonic Paradox News Paradox of News. Now, the reason we're here is there's been a lot happening and big changes in the world of video games and gaminess. I said gaminess. The main thing is we've had a new console announced quite recently. Most of us watched it together, the conference. It was all quite exciting. I know why they're bringing one out, because they had to get their console out at the same time, ideally before Xbox, if they want to stay in the game. Because
Jamie, it's the next box.
I'm sorry.
Wait, really?
So then, before the next box, because last time Xbox 360 had such a head start, and that screwed Sony over completely, because everyone wanted next gen. They bought an Xbox, then the PlayStation, when it eventually came out, was so expensive, had nothing on it, whereas everyone had gotten to grips with the Xbox. So obviously they need to release it out. But PlayStation 3 doesn't feel like it's been out that long.
I just want to say something now, though. Something that not a lot of people realize. To this day, coming out later this month, is a new PS2 game. They are still making PS2 games.
Is it that Final Fantasy one?
Yeah, it's the Final Fantasy expansion pack.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing, Sony but they said that with the PlayStation and with the PlayStation 2, they always have this 10-year cycle plan. PlayStation 2 has gone way beyond that. They've only just stopped manufacturing PlayStation 2s.
Which amazes me, because I can't find new ones anywhere.
So, we started, and I thought the conference was going to be like, this is what we have coming out on Vita and PlayStation. At the very end, they were going to go, oh, by the way, PlayStation 4 is coming. We'll see you at E3. But no, straight from the get-go, this is PlayStation 4. Here is a logo. Here is a creepy as fuck British man who's going to show you the controller. He was so creepy.
Oh god, his eyes. Oh my god. It's like they're trying to make their own Reggie, because they know how popular the Nintendo CEOs are. You got Reggie, you got Miyamoto. So they bring out this one guy thinking he's going to be as likable as Reggie. And no, the opposite. My sister was saying his eyes are staring into my soul. And they were.
I mean, he's done a lot of amazing things, apparently.
Yeah, it's true. I mean...
He's giving children
Scary looking guy,
nightmares.
though.
And he showed one of the new. I mean, they went through very briefly the specs. It seems to be very much off-the-shelf stuff, that almost like a custom-built PC, which is probably a sensible idea after the whole cell bollocks that happened last time, where just no one could develop for it. Is 8 gigs of RAM more than they need? Does that seem necessary?
Oh, there's people complaining that that's not enough RAM. You got the PC Master Race fanboys who are going around saying, I got this on my PC 6 years ago, and then, get on my level, console fanboys. And I'm just like, okay, here we go.
But then technically people have already been saying the PS4 is basically a PC branded as a console.
There's always that argument, because then they'll just say, why don't you just emulate it? And it's like, you can't emulate a PS4 yet. I don't know.
PC gaming's fine.
It's totally fine.
It's totally fine.
Yeah.
But I think, for anyone who's listening, watching, if you own a PC and you're one of these people, I have a few points I'd like to make to you. One, yes, there are probably PCs out there that can do already what the PlayStation 4 will do when it gets released. It probably costs a lot more than the PlayStation 4 will. To have a top-end PC, a few grand, whereas this console, at most, hopefully, will be no more. If they've got any common sense, they won't price it over $400. If they have any common sense.
That sounds about right.
So yeah,
Well, that's debatable these days.
That's instantly going to be cheaper than to get the same thing on a PC. Also, those specs can go a lot further, because when you're making PC games, you've got to adapt it for so many different variations. Whereas if you have a set thing, think of like Tomb Raider's coming out next week, and that game looks gorgeous.
Sex.
It does look sex.
Yep.
That's running on an Xbox, which has 512 megs of RAM. So with you can't run probably Windows 8 with that amount of RAM.
Nope, I've tried.
So you've got things like you've got an operating system running in the background and stuff. It's just with years they can optimize and optimize and optimize. So the whole PC argument just gets on my tits. What they very, very quietly mentioned I quite liked was just they've got a Kinect basically, and they just rushed that to the side. I thought that was quite sly of them. I can't imagine what they'll do with that. I mean, I'm guessing this light means the controller will be used in the same way as the Move controller.
Most likely, yeah. But the thing is, like I was saying, online, I watched online reactions at the same time. A lot of people were saying, oh, it's a ripoff of the Kinect. But I just want to say, what was the first console to have a camera? The PS2.
With the iToy.
Like, exactly. A lot of the features that people are saying PlayStation's ripping off of other consoles, they had first.
Moving along, they showed the specs. They didn't show a console, which some people are bothered about. I wasn't too fussed. Was anyone here upset that they didn't see a console?
It's gonna be on my shelf regardless of how it looks. I don't care if it looks like a giant inflatable Rouge the Bat. I will still play it.
That'd be quite interesting to play.
If it looked like an inflatable Rouge the Bat, I'd be, there day one.
Whilst we're on the console quickly, am I the only person that finds it confusing that even though they've announced the PS4 and we all knew it was going to be announced, that only recently, like late last year, early this year, they've announced the new super slim PS3 and they're trying to sell it in bundles, like with Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. Like, buy this game and get the PS3 with it.
Just like the Wii Mini. Okay, it's
stupid.
literally... It's not stupid, okay? It's for
You're
people
stupid. No, it's stupid.
It's for people who never picked up a Wii, or for hospitals or places where they can use, like, Wii Sports, and it's meant for, like, buying to send to Africa.
That's what they need. They don't need water or anything. Yes, they did that. And then they started showing games at this conference. Does anyone care about NAC?
I do. I think it looks awesome.
Honestly,
You mean the first game that was shown?
Oh, well,
Yeah.
sorry.
Was
Tom,
it
go.
the first game that was shown, yeah?
Yeah, the one with the little robot.
Oh, that. Sorry for interrupting you, Farad, but am I the only person that when I looked at the character as he was evolving, at one point I saw Bowser, and then at another
Yes.
point when you see his face, it looks like Ganondorf from Ocarina of Time.
Slightly, yeah. It's the horns and the face.
Now, I wasn't too fussed for this game. It looked very generic. It looked very launch title-y, which it is a launch title, so I guess that's why. But it didn't look like... This is the first game they're showing. It didn't look like something I couldn't have on my PlayStation 3.
Okay,
Well-
so this is my thought. For me, when I saw it, my first thought was, the golden age of gaming is back. We're getting not super gritty, realistic, hardcore Call of Duty, Black Ops 3, Black Ops Harder Edition. You know, we're not getting super gritty, hardcore. We're back to games that are cartoony, but look good. You know, games that are good for kids, but also, like, older fans will play because, you know, there might be some adult humor hidden in. I mean, I was excited because I thought, oh my god, we're stepping away from the first-person shooter phenomenon. We're going back to the good old days of the PS1. You know, my buddies Crash and Spyro. Except not, because Activision are dicks.
Yeah.
Well,
But
if we're going by it being a launch title, then technically it could be something very good. Because if we go by the GameCube, for example, Luigi's Mansion was a launch title, and when it first came out, people were just saying, it's not that good. Then over time, literally, it's become one of the most iconic, legendary GameCube games known to man.
I guess the character didn't look, you know, you're talking about the golden age. This wasn't the new Crash or Spyro. It was something that will be forgotten about and be just lost within launch titles. The animation on the human characters, they looked all very dead behind the eyes. It just looked a bit weird. I wasn't that thrilled about it. Talking, though, of Brown, one of the other games they showed was a new Killzone game, which
Okay,
I know.
I have some words to say on this. You know, I'm a big first-person shooter hater.
Yes, you are. Go ahead. What were your
Okay.
thoughts?
So,
What?
when I saw this, I'm like, oh, yay, Killzone. But as the trailer started, I'm like, oh, it's not brown. They had the blues and oranges, and even like some green I saw. And I was watching this, I'm like, oh, it doesn't look half bad. And the more I watched it, the more I realized, it doesn't look that bad.
But then the big explosion, and then the actual game started, and then everything went brown again. And then it was all like fire and people dying and like
I know,
everything's
right?
brown. It's like, where did all the colour go? It's
It was like
oh,
playing Crisis City on a PS4.
it was like that was all just a pretty bit. Now we'll actually get into the proper game where we just release all
Okay, that's
creativity.
kind of true, actually.
So what other games we had?
It
Yeah,
looked really
Infamous.
cool.
Infamous, sorry.
When I
Yeah,
watched the
Second Son.
trailer, at first I was like, okay. I'm like, oh, it's Infamous. But then it started to look not like it. And I'm like, oh, so this isn't Infamous. But then the more I watched it, I'm like, oh yeah, that guy looks like he's from Infamous. But then he's fire powers. I'm like, oh, it's not Infamous. And then finally the title appeared, you know, Second Son. Oh, so it's not Infamous. Boom, Infamous Second Son. I'm like, okay, apparently it's Infamous.
I'm excited. It looks really cool, and I was hoping for someone new aside from Cole, because his adventures were cool, but after the second one, his arc was sort of done. I want to see where the world goes.
Exactly, yeah.
My lowlight of the whole conference was when Square Enix came out.
That was the low life
Okay.
for
It was a
Let's not
demo
go-
they already showed, and it wasn't worth it. I don't know what they're doing anymore, and they just need to make verses and go away.
Well,
Don't
this
be
is the
silly,
thing.
It's gonna
They
be...
made perfume based on the way the main character smells. I don't even know what they're thinking anymore.
I think it's gonna be Versus. I think it's gonna be Versus is gonna
Damn
be a
better
launch
be.
title. That's the only reason why they're taking so long with it, because they're making it for the PS4 now.
My thoughts, like Square Enix come out, they show this video that no one cares about, they've already seen it, so it's not exciting.
And it's upset Tanner.
And then it upsets Tanner. And so what they do,
Very
they
upset.
say, we're making a new Final Fantasy game, please be excited for E3, which sounded so desperate. Like, please be excited, we are promising.
Please, oh
we
God,
might
be
say,
excited.
please be interested in us, please, we need our investors, please be interested in us. They didn't announce what the game was. It won't be because they very clearly said we'll be announcing a new title. So they're already doing Versus. They're already doing this HD remake of Final Fantasy X. So
which is
even
apparently coming out on the Vita first.
Well, this is the thing. So even though these two games have been in development for 600 years, we're now going to make another Final Fantasy on top of Final Fantasy 13-3, which nobody wants.
You mean Assassin's Creed crossover?
Yeah. So
Okay, no, I sort of want it. Because, I mean, they did... Okay, they made Lightning, and then, like, she had... I don't know what she had, shorts, miniskirt or something, and then in the second game, they took her pants off.
What?
It was genius. I'm just throwing that out there. So
Marketing.
Final Fantasy 13-3.
So she'll just be naked from the waist down. If they knew what the game was, they were going to announce. Like, if it was the actual versus, all they needed to do was come on stage and show a logo. They just had to show that crappy video, say, we've got something to show you, show the logo, and say, and we'll see you at E3. That would have created excitement. To say, oh, we're making a game, but we're not going to tell you what it is. I don't think they know. I think at E3 they're then going to say, oh yeah, we started working on something for PlayStation 4. It might come out in 4 years.
And
Yeah,
then
like,
it comes
I'm-
out 4 years, and what is it? It's a pay-to-win social game!
I just don't know what the Japanese division of Square Enix are doing now. I just don't.
I think they're all dead and are high on... Well, what's left of their dead bodies is high on meth.
And I'm really surprised that Sony wanted that to represent the launch of their new console.
Capcom.
Capcom.
Oh dear.
Oh god,
Wow.
oh god, oh god.
No Mega Man, I am disappointed.
Honestly, when Ono came up on stage, I was like, hey, Street Fighter, and then the first thing he says, sorry, no Street Fighter.
that was amazing.
It was
The super generic Dungeons and Dragons game that had literally nothing special about it.
Yes, it looked slightly pre-rendered.
Oh,
It
that
seemed-
thing. You mean
it
the one that
seemed-
looks like Dark Souls, but in groups?
Yeah, it seemed a bit Killzone 2 back in 2005.
Honestly, it looked so hilariously generic. No, not cheap. Like,
No, it's a
graphics-wise...
cheesy.
Oh, graphics-wise, it looks fine. You know what? Gameplay-wise, it's probably good. But the problem is, there's nothing special about it. There's nothing that will set it apart from another studio going, let's make a dungeon-crawling game like Dungeons & Dragons.
So, the conference had a variety of stuff.
It was long. Very
It's
long.
long.
Oh, you
Longer
know what
than
we
Me
did talk
Too.
about?
Numerous things were announced, but there are more things announced after the conference. One of them was how PlayStation 4 will not have backwards compatibility with physical or digital software with PlayStation 3. So,
Okay, here's my opinion. Here's my 2 cents. Is backwards compatibility the biggest deal? I mean, yes,
You're
it's nice you could play GameCube games on your Wii, or like PS1 games on your PS3, but let's be honest here, if you have the games, chances are you have the console. So, I mean, I have my Wii, but I play GameCube games on my GameCube. I mean, I don't have a PS1, so that argument's horrible.
I know Fuad has opinions on this, and I want to hear Fuad's opinion.
Well, honestly, it's like if I do have the original console, then I probably will be playing on that. But if I have the option to use everything universally for one system, so like with the virtual console, how it's like it could handle like the SNES and the N64 and all of that, and you could use those digitally and move those games on an SD card to like your 3DS or a new Wii when you get it. That's just so handy.
But
But
the thing is, though, that's emulation. We're talking about backwards compatibility, which means having the
getting to that, I'm getting to that.
processors and the older stuff in the console.
I'm getting to that.
Okay.
It's like you can move those games and they'll still work fine on each of those consoles. With the PS4, it seems like it will not be able to like run PS3 as we said like on disc or digitally. Which I think is so weird because it does have the like backward compatibility but not the I don't know how to put it.
Your PS4 won't be running it. It'll be running basically a video stream to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I can imagine, like, people who don't have internet or have really bad internet are gonna have a lot of issues with that.
Yeah,
This
but
thing,
then again, that is
the
their
whole
problem.
Gaikai thing. I mean, everything Gaikai were announcing, there was no confirmation it would happen straight away. It was all very much, this is what we're aiming to do. So there wasn't even confirmation that it would appear in the console finally. Is backwards compatibility really an important feature to anyone? Really? I think no. I don't. Maybe at the beginning.
It's a nice addition.
But
that's the thing. It's
yeah.
a nice thing to have. But I mean, like, for instance, the SNES was originally supposed to be able to play NES games, but they took that out because they wanted to focus more on giving the SNES more power. And was that a good move in the end?
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, how do we feel about the fact that all your PSN purchases, you won't cross over, and in some cases you may have to buy those again?
Actually, I don't think you're going to have to buy them again. I think it's just going to be universally unavailable to play. Probably because of the fact that it's going to have entirely reworked online. Honestly, again, if I want to play a PSN game, I'll turn on my PS3.
So
again, it defeats the purpose of the backward compatibility, though. Like, it's the fact that they already said that they have it in there, as well as the fact that you won't be able to go back to PSN. Like, for everyone who has a PS3 and already paid all this money and stuff, like, yeah, we've got all the stuff on the PS3. Again, to people who are, like, ditching the PS3 for the PS4, I don't know why people would do that, but trust me, there are a lot of people who would do that. It's sort of a slap to the face to them. Pretty much.
One thing they didn't announce, or they confirmed that wasn't going to happen, was they have confirmed that there will be no system in place to block used games. Are we pleased or indifferent?
I don't play used games, but it's more for if, say, I want to bring a game over to Fuad's place to play with him, then I wouldn't be able to do that. That bothered me more than used games, because I don't play used games. Honestly, though, I think the next box might have that.
And how do we feel about that?
I'm not happy with that. I mean, it doesn't affect me because of the used games, it affects me because I want to play a game with a friend.
As long as it's my gamer tag, it wouldn't matter. It'd be tied to my account. So it'd be said, you can play this. So I could go to my friend's house and just sign in as me, and then play it. No?
I don't know. Again, it's an up. Well, it's not really up and down. It's all down. It's really one of those things where it's not up or down. It's either down or neutral.
I'm not a supporter of pre-owned games at all. Don't like them.
You're not?
No, I don't. You spend millions and millions of pounds developing a game, and then you put it to sale, and then you make a percentage of whatever it sells for. Yeah. A pre-owned game, you get that's 100% profit to the store.
That's true.
The developer, the publisher get nothing from that, and it's things like that that hurt the industry, and the industry can't afford that sort of thing anymore. Yes, games can be expensive. Gaming is an expensive hobby. You've chosen to get into this hobby. It's going to cost you money. Sorry. You're going to have to save up and possibly buy less games. Life is tough.
It is because games nowadays require so many resources.
It costs a lot, but they need to sell a lot just to break even. So when you're buying a pre-owned game, you're effectively saying, I like this game, I'm willing to spend money on it, but I just don't want to give any of the money to the people who actually made it. I just want to give it all to GameStop or whatever.
Johnny, you said like nothing. What's your opinion on this?
On what, the own games thing? Pre-owned games thing?
Oh, yeah. Hey, Johnny, you're here.
Oh my
Hi.
god, exactly.
I exist. Half of me wants to say half of me wants to say it's worth banning it, and half of me wants to say it's not worth banning it, because there's part of me that might not be able to get be able to play those games if they're already been, pre-owned, and it's complicated. Like, I want the pre-owned games to stick around because I do feel like they would, the whole rule to stick around because I do feel like it would be beneficial to the industry because I think it keeps the engine going, so to speak. But at the same time, I can see how it's causing people to suffer too. It's really it's both bad and good at the same time, and I can see why it's so controversial because it's something that's divided. It's really, it depends on your situation, your current situation in real life, and your personal opinions, really.
Well put.
Now, yes, that's all we're talking about today. I think we should wrap this up. We may have another conversation like this if you guys like us chattering and create a discussion. Write your feedback or your thoughts of what we've discussed today in the comment section below, or if you're listening, just post on the Facebook page, tweet us at Sonic_show. Facebook.com/The Sonic Show, unsurprisingly. Post what you think. I want to know what you think. And also, if you have any questions for us, maybe we could do this again and answer questions from discussions you want to bring to the table.
I'd totally be down for a Q&A session.
Yeah, face twit Tamblegram.
I'd be all for it.
Ask us questions about what we do or whatever, or maybe you've seen something in the world of Sonic or gaming in general that you want us to have a discussion about. Tell us what your thoughts are, and we'll tell you why you're wrong. Yes.
And trust me, there's a lot of reasons for that.
So if we go around the room, the virtual room, and if everybody wants to say their goodbyes and also plug any of their stuff, start with the Tanner side.
Hi, I'm Tanner. You should watch my videos on my channel, watch my videos on the Sonic Show channel. I love all of you. Seriously, I love all of you, especially the girls. I'm kidding. Not really.
And if they want to contact you, Tanner, how to make contact?
YouTube.com/goodbye18,000, Facebook.com/Let's Player of the North, and Twitter, Tanner_LPer.
Who added?
What? What's happening?
You're doing your
Kickstarter.
not Kickstarter. You're doing your spiel
Oh,
on
my
how people can
Kickstarter.
contact you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have a new YouTube. People who still friggin' knew me as Metal Hero. Now it's Foofa Daffodil Gaming. I'm gonna give you some text to throw on here because I still can't even spell that right. Message me on there. I have a Twitter too, which is Foofa Daffodil. And
I'm
yeah,
glad you went with something so easy to spell.
yeah, same.
Amazing. And Donnie?
Well, you can always go to Sonic Sega Fan 91 on YouTube. That's my YouTube channel. And you can always go to SSF991 on Twitter. And do expect that there will be a lot more talking on Twitter than there will be in this episode.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Alright. And, obviously me, Jamie Eggman, formerly known as Disco Ponies. Whatever you're listening or watching, that's how you find me. You're already there. Half the work's done. Isn't that amazing?
Way to go, guys. Way to go.
So, thanks for listening or watching or whatever you're doing. I hope you didn't run over a dog if you were listening in a car. That'd be tragic. Bad. Because puppies.
Hope they didn't run over a fellow fan, like Tanner was saying.
Exactly. Don't do that. But make sure you post down in the comments below what do you think on the subjects we've discussed, and what discussions would you like to discuss next time? Would you like there to be a next time? Tanner, off the top of your head, name a Sonic piece of music from any game. Now, go.
Sweet Mountain.
Cool. That's what we're going to play out to. Everyone say bye.
Bye.
Sonic Show's Opinion Zone. Copyright Disco Ponies Productions. Sonic the Hedgehog is copyright of Sega Corporation. Published material and comments are those of the respective persons and not of the Sonic Show. All rights reserved. Thanks for listening.